Well, hello everyone, thank you for joining me for this video. I kind of notice more and more people these days are either building a home gaming room, home setup, kind of man cave style thing, or they're working from home and they're trying to create an environment that they like to be in. I'm lucky enough to have my home office, my setup, my room, and I want to take the time to just kind of give you guys a walk through how I've made it mine and how I've made it comfortable, and actually just some of the cool looking things. Well, cool in my opinion, how things can look when you're kind of building your own setup. So let's do it. It's a bit of a whistle stop tour. I am shooting it on my iPhone. It could be a little bit echoey, but hopefully you enjoy it. Any questions, stick it below. So here it is, my room in all its glory. This is what you see when you come in through the door. It's not the biggest room in the world, but it works perfectly for me. I should say as well, this video is going to be a one-shot wonder. So if I make any mistakes, it is what it is. They're going to be in there. But look, this is the view as you come through the door. This is even on my wide-angle lens, if I kind of just zoom in properly. Yeah, it's not the biggest room in the world, but like I said, it's absolutely perfect for me. I want to give you kind of a tour as we go around. Yeah, I've got my main setup over here, which we'll talk about in a bit. But let's see what makes the room special and individual to me and what I've done to create the environment. So as you come through the door, real simple things to begin with. The light switch is blanked off, and we've got a Philips Hue switch here. Whilst I've got a lighting profile at the moment, like a lighting scene, it can just have standard white lighting. So when you're coming in the day, if you want to just quickly flip it on, you do that, so on and so forth. It's obviously all voice activated as well, with a typical voice assistant, which is over on the desk. Anyway, as we kind of move across the wall, I've got comic books that sit behind me. These are some of the favourite ones I've got in my collection. Like at the top here as well, I've also got a great piece of Vader art, which is signed by Brian Muir, who is the original designer of the Darth Vader outfit. Very cool. But anyway, nice comic books, great little backdrop. So if I'm on a video call or streaming, whatever it might be, from there, this kind of sits behind me. I've also got an original piece of artwork from my daughter wishing me a happy birthday, which is really cool. Anyway, down on the floor, we've got just a crate of water, and I've also got my, I guess, tech toolkit. So in my tech toolkit, everything I need to build PCs and maintain PCs, that sort of stuff, which is kind of a big hobby of mine. As we move further along, this is kind of a collectibles area. So I've got a couple of display cabinets here. You can pick these up from IKEA. They're very kind of traditional. Loads of people use them. The last time I bought one, they're about £50 in the UK, so they're not particularly expensive. So they're quite reasonable. They're glass with glass shelves. Within it, I'm kind of collecting, or what I've always kind of collected is kind of comic books, Lego, other kind of traditional collectibles. I've got a lovely Avengers comic book here that you've probably seen before if you've watched any of my videos or followed any of my content, which is a first edition gatefold of the new Avengers comics, and it's signed by Stan Lee, which is pretty cool. But up here, I've got Cards Against Marvel, which was a gift from an awesome friend of mine. More Lego bits and pieces and a Lego shelf up there across the top. As we kind of pull down, you'll also notice on the back of these shelves we've got lighting as well. So you've got an RGB strip there, normal LED lighting up here in the top of these. And as we go down through, loads of different collectibles in terms of Lego. Also got some of my daughter's first shoes, some old watches. That's pretty cool. So that's a brickhead set from New York Comic Con. Fairly rare actually, that one. Importantly, down here I also have this. So this is a tip for anybody who's going to have a home office or a gaming room. This is a air purifier, really important. Electronics attract dust big time, and especially in a small environment like this, you tend to find that home offices and gaming rooms are in the smaller room of the house. So having an air purifier is quite important, in my opinion anyway. Windows here, got a blind to black it out, which is pretty cool. And then as we go around to the right, I've got a little nod here. So those who are into PC gaming will know that EVGA was a real big player in the graphics card market, really popular. Unfortunately, they've left the market. So as my little nod to EVGA, there's an old 750 Ti. Now, the reason it's 750 Ti is when I got back into PC building in 2019, I built a super budget PC, and it was a 750 Ti that I put in it. So yeah, EVGA, 750 Ti, a little nod to them as they've kind of left the market. As we move around, we've got Saturn V Lego rocket there in the corner, next to my 3D printer. Now, I've got quite a long desk, and about 7 months ago I did a desk tour, so you can check that video out if you want to. But essentially, to maximise the space, I've used a work surface, cut to length. It's about 2.6 meters, so it's a reasonable distance, which is pretty cool. And everything's kind of sat on there. Now, this is proper warts and all in terms of looking at it. So down here, I've got kind of a messy corner. Everybody has one, let's be honest, but it's kind of old kit, boxes, so on and so forth. So There's even an Intel NUC stuck in here, a 16-port switch, loads of boxes from like iPhone and drone and all sorts of bits and pieces. Right at the very bottom there, I've just got some archival storage. There's a Plex server here, which has got 17 terabytes of storage now. We've got UPS, and there's another UPS dipped under there as well. So there's kind of two down here. A rack of drawers there. It's pretty much just got things like 3D printing tools and stuff like that in there, and some snacks. There's a snack drawer down there, but that's kind of under the desk, not the cleanest, but loads of chargers racked up here. So if I need to charge anything, we've got USB-C, Lightning, so on and so forth. So they're just sat down there to be used. As we come up and around onto the desk, at the back, these are, if you haven't seen them before, they're very popular, but these are nano leaf panels. Being very honest, they aren't the cheapest lighting solution in the world, but I think they're pretty cool. You can create effectively endless patterns by buying more and more of the modules and just piecing them out on your wall, and you can change the color patterns, so on and so forth. And they are compatible with smart assistants as well. Let's move up higher up here. So we've got across the top more comic books that are special to me. I've even got a signed script from The Big Bang Theory. And then down onto here we've got my bookshelf speakers. These are Edifier speakers. They're very good, and I can switch from my headphones to those if I'm kind of home alone and wanted to listen to some music a bit louder, shall we say. This is a star projector, so this is what's projecting these images onto the ceiling. These are quite popular these days, quite low cost on Amazon, that sort of thing. There's an air horn. You never know when you're going to need an air horn. We've got an Ambinic emulator here. Basically will emulate games up to about kind of PS1, a couple of PS2 games. There's a licensed Pac-Man game, the box for my 3090. We've got some kind of TikTok style emulator. It's a very cheap emulator, but it actually works quite well, which is pretty cool. Custom graphics, so on and so forth. An old iPod Nano, the box to my CPU, a Game Boy SP, an original Nintendo Switch, and then an LED display, and the other bookshelf speaker that's up there as well. There's some pretty cool stuff, I think, up here, and it's like a little collectible shelf. But as we come down, we can see the main setup of my PC. Left-hand side, I've got a little fan, box of tissues, because you never know, you might need a tissue. We've got a Stream Deck. So for those of you who don't know Stream Decks, these are highly customizable, effectively macro pad that has OLED screens in the back. You can create loads of different things depending upon what you use them for. So I use them to launch games, for example. If I'm in Discord, there's loads of different buttons you can use in Discord for the soundboard. You can do a speed test for the internet, screen snipping, that sort of stuff, quick things. Change that audio input and output from headphones to those bookshelf speakers. They're quite useful. You can customize it massively for what you want it to do. Moving across, we've got my keyboard. So I've got a full-size Asus Strix Flare 2 Animate keyboard. Animate is this little thing in the top corner up here. It's like a dot matrix display. It uses red switches. They're actually really nice for a mass-produced keyboard that's not kind of a handmade custom thing. They're really smooth, they're dampened, it's got foam and everything inside it. With my own lighting profile, obviously. We've got the smart assistants, who will not be named, and then on the right hand side we've got this custom stats display that I built ages ago, just to keep an eye on temps, clock speeds, those sort of things, utilization. Screen wise, we've got a screen from HP, believe it or not, so it's an X34, so it's a 34-inch ultra wide. It runs 165 Hz and it's 1440p. I think it's an absolute sweet spot when it comes to displays. They've gone up a bit recently in terms of price. They did come down as little as £350 in the UK, but they trickled back up to 400, but you can sometimes get them on sale. But they're good. To the right of that, I've just got a vertical monitor that I use for things like Discord, that sort of stuff. Very useful. On top, we've got just a Logitech webcam. I think it's a C920, I think, or something like that. But it's good, it's cool, it works. And then the mouse, we've got a Basilisk V3, which is a really good mouse. I really like it. It's really ergonomic. It's really comfortable. Certainly the polar opposite of an Apple Magic Mouse. And then as we carry on round, we've got a boom arm here with a condenser microphone. This came part of a package with Focusrite. So I've got the Focusrite audio interface, and this is the microphone that came with it, which is the Scarlett Studio condenser mic. Down to the right, we've got the headphones that I use every day, which is my Bear Dynamics DT990 Pros. Hopefully you know about these already, but for gaming, they're brilliant. For work, they're brilliant. They're comfortable, they're nice, they're great for listening to audio. You've got to check these out. stop buying these gamer grade headsets, go and buy some decent ones. These are studio ones, they're not massively expensive, they're very good. Continuing around, we've got the PC. If you've not seen my PC before, very quick overview. It's got a Ryzen 9 5950X, it's got an RTX 3090. It's a complete compensator PC. I built it a couple of years ago. Still very powerful, still very relevant today. It's got like, I think about 4 terabytes of solid state in it, and 32 gigs of RAM. We've got a 360mm AIO on the CPU. And the case I really, really like as well. So the case is a Fractal Design Meshify case, and I love it, really cool. Up to the top here, we've got an IKEA pegboard. So for those of you who are kitting out a room at the moment, these are exceptionally good value from IKEA. You can get loads of little modules that fit into them to customize it and make it your own. Or you can also 3D print them, which is pretty cool. So those are really useful. I've got some Govee lights around the back of them, just to kind of give that backlight, which is pretty cool. And I think overall it's really useful, but also looks good as well. We've got a wireless access point there up on the wall. Down under here, we have got my beer fridge. I say beer fridge, but actually it's not a beer fridge because that's pretty much what's always in it. It's full of water. I drink loads of water. If you don't, you should. Make sure you do. That's what's in my fridge. Here I've got a Fosse Audio DAC and amp, which is for my Bear Dynamic headphones. You will need something an amp like this for them. They've got quite high impedance, so that's important. And that's that audio interface that I mentioned before for the microphone. And then I've got like an old MacBook down here that isn't really used for much. But yeah, that's kind of a very whistle-stop tour of my room. Let's see if there's any inspiration for anybody in it. If you've got any questions at all, stick it in the comment section below. But yeah, this is me, this is it. Speak to you soon.